Hey everybody, Pastor Vance here with the daily devotional for you for February 1st, 2022. I don't know about you, I was glad to get back to my regular readings. I'm a routine guy and I fell out of my routine last week. But hopefully you were able to use that week to catch up and to be ready to move on with us today. It's a passage from Acts 15 we read today. It's a simple passage where Paul and Barnabas are at odds with each other. So far, we've read about their first missionary journey in the book of Acts. And we see some great success there. And they end up in Jerusalem. We've just finished reading that just to kind of catch you up, where they have this council meeting in Jerusalem where they determine that the church in Jerusalem is okay with the Gentiles being a part of the church. And that was an issue for some of the Jews. And they determine, they write a letter to send to those churches to let them know, kind of their expectations and what they want. But they're ready to go back. And Paul and Silas agree, let's go back to the believers and let's encourage them. I think it's clear that they want to deliver. They've gone to Antioch and they've delivered a letter to Antioch to Gentiles here. But I believe, part of their motivation, part of what they're saying is, let's go back and encourage them that they've been accepted, that they've been embraced, and give them this letter that the Christians and the disciples in Jerusalem, that the apostles in Jerusalem have written to them. James, the brother of Jesus, has himself said, we're welcoming you into the church. But Barnabas wants to take John Mark. And Paul's not okay with that because John Mark abruptly left them on their first missionary journey. And it doesn't really tell us why he left, and it doesn't tell us the circumstances, but it's clear that Paul thinks not very highly of John Mark. And it's also clear that Luke is on Paul's side because of the language that he uses and the fact that Luke then goes with Paul, because this leads to Paul and Barnabas going separate ways. Now, it just seems like a logistical part does not, that there's not a lot of meat to this, but there's so much that I could say to you about this passage. The question is often who's right, who's right about John Mark. And the truth is, as in so much of life, they probably both are. Is Paul right to not trust John Mark? Sure. When people have betrayed us, when people have let us down, when people have failed us, we should not just blindly accept that they are going to, change, that they're going to be different. There's people that have hurt you and have let you down, and you don't have to let them do that to you again. At the same time, shouldn't we show them grace like Barnabas does? Shouldn't we encourage them? Of course. And in fact, Barnabas is the one who convinces the apostles that Paul should get a second chance. And I'm sure if Barnabas and Paul have this heated argument and debate, that Barnabas very easily could have said to Paul, if I was Barnabas, I would have said to him, I give you a chance. You who led the persecution against the church, I gave you the chance, and I spoke up for you in front of the disciples and said, hey, this guy, let's give him a chance to be who Jesus has changed him to be. And so they're at the same vein of while we don't have to let people continue to betray us, continue to let us down, we also do need to show grace and grasp that people have room for growth. The sad part is this clearly ruptures the relationship between Paul and Barnabas, who's been a key part of the church to this point, is never mentioned again in the book of Acts. It's almost like the relationship is destroyed there. We don't know that, but we can surmise that. But I think the point is that we should really grasp in our devotion is we're John Mark. We're the people who've let others down. We're the people who've let God down. We've betrayed. We've been unfaithful. And we get these chances in life sometimes to make up for it. We get these opportunities to be a different person, and we have to embrace those. I was going through this. I found this little notebook that I had written in, and I've got a million little notebooks, and so I've been trying to condense them and go through them. And I had taken some notes from when I was on a little sabbatical, some things I had just written down, that prayer thoughts and things that I had read. And I wrote down in this journal that sometimes you have to go the wrong way before you go the right way. But sometimes it's in going the wrong way that's how you realize you're wrong. Sometimes the wrong way is what shows you the right way. Sometimes you just don't know which way to go. And you've just got to go down that path and be open to saying, yeah, this was the wrong choice. I should have gone a different way, and turn around and go back. And God gives us that chance continually to do that, to make up for that, to make that change, to go back. But you have to stop journeying down the wrong path. You have to turn back to go down the right path. Going down that wrong path may burn some bridges. It may hurt some people in a way that, that you have to understand that they won't trust you anymore, or that you have to do something to earn that trust. You have to become someone different to earn that trust. Maybe you find yourself today having gone the wrong way in life. Maybe you've made some wrong career choices. Maybe you made some wrong relationship choices. Maybe you just made some wrong personal choices. And sometimes you have to go the wrong way to say, hey, this isn't the right way. Maybe the right way is not clear to you. But it's clear what you're doing isn't working. It's clear the direction you're going isn't the one that's going to lead you where you want to be. That isn't who you want to be. And so you have this opportunity to change that, to stop that, to become somebody new and different in Christ Jesus. So I encourage you to do that today. If you're a John Mark and you've made those mistakes, God is a God of grace. He's a God of mercy. He's a God of second chances. And not everybody may trust you, but he will always give you that chance